Hello fellow Old World inhabitants and welcome to another short battle report. In this format we only film the end of turn summaries without the rolls. This battle is fought between the Wood Elves led by GladeLord and the Lizardmen led by Twan. So without further ado, let's see which of these two armies is the real defender of the forest.
Good morning, good afternoon and good evening everyone. We're going to have a Warhammer battle today. Woo! And first of all, before we even start the deployment, we want to share a little bit about the battlefield today. So we're going to start on the right for me, on the left of Bjorn. And what the idea is here is that this is a hill where water runs down from both ends. So the blue part is basically a river. The river runs towards a forest. We haven't decided yet if this will be dangerous or difficult terrain, and this one as well. So we will discuss that in the next video. However, so these are forests, and here is a infinite height object. These are, how do you say?
Low linear obstacles.
Low linear obstacles, thank you. So this is a hill, this is a hill, and these are also infinite height mountains, so to speak, so those are impossible. So this is the starting board for now.
The little pillars are just for decoration.
Alright, we have deployed. We have not yet rolled for who is going to start the turn, but we will see in a moment. With regards to deployment, from left to right, from my end. So we have here the Scar Veteran with the Carnosaur. We have here the Stegodon with a Skink Chief on it. This is the Skink Priest over here. We have the Saurus Warriors 20 units. We have the Bastillodon with the, let me see, Solar Engine. Do I say it correctly? Yes, Solar Engine. Slaw Mage Priest over here. By the way, this has a 3+ armor silvered steel item. 10 Temple Guards unit. And we have the Croxigos here.
Alright, on the Wood Elf side, 5 Glade Riders with Musician, True Flight Arrows, Reserve Move, and a level 4 Wizard with the Lore of Elementalism. 5 Wild Riders, Full Command, and Banner of the Hunter King, so Vanguard. 8 Glade Guard with Arcane Bodkins and a Musician. 6 War Dancers with a Musician. Another level 4 with Battle Magic and Oaken Stave, so that's +3 Dispel range and an extra Dispel dice when he is within free range of a forest. A 3-man with the spikes that give him the -1 weapon skill and initiative for enemies in base contact. 6 Glade Guard with True Flight Arrows and a Musician, and Fire and Flee. 6 War Dancers with a Champion Musician and the Potion of Strength. 8 Glade Guard with Arcane Bodkins and a Musician. And 1 3-man, just the way he is. 6 Scouts with True Flight Arrows and a Musician. And I just remembered that I forgot to deploy my other unit of Scouts, so I'll come back in a second and show you where I'm gonna deploy those.
Okay, and of turn 1 from the Lizardmen. So not a lot has happened, but significant stuff has happened though. On the left, let's start over here. We've moved the Carnosaur forward and also tilted it a little bit, full march. By the way, I want to do one thing because I haven't used my giant bow yet.
Okay, so that's gonna shoot.
Yes.
So maybe that does something.
Yes, exactly. We've haven't found if we can march and cast magic as in vortexes and such. So we decided if we march we cannot cast any vortexes. So he has marched, so he cannot cast any vortexes. So that's what so I haven't cast any magic with my Skink Priest. Saurus Warriors moved forward. Bastillodon moved forward. Has done some shooting but was unsuccessful because it was dispelled. Temple Guards have moved forward. This marched forward. This has moved forward with the Fly 8, so it has wheeled a little bit and moved. Did 2 unsuccessful magical vortexes, unfortunately. Not in range for any other spells. Scout units who were over here moved to the left, and my Vanguard units moved up the hill. All of them have done shooting on the Wild Riders, and
Which stood there.
yes, which
Moved
stood there.
Vanguard there. Very stupid mistake, as was pointed out by the Lizardmen player.
Yes, and they
no.
were utterly destroyed, unfortunately.
For me, unfortunately. For you, you were very happy.
Yes, of course. And I think that's the end of turn 1.
Yeah, last but not least,
Yes.
we forgot the deployment of the second scout unit, so I deployed them over here. So as you can see, this is now the end result, and the Stegadon, right, needs to shoot.
Yes, correct.
So we'll start the next video with the result of that. Alright, so Wood Elves turn 1. The scouts have moved up around the flank, tried to shoot, did nothing. The 3 men moved towards the back of the forest to be in a hiding and spring out when necessary. GladeLord moved a little bit sideways. Shooting did nothing. 3 men moved a little bit sideways and up. GladeLord moved up, did 1 wound with shooting on this unit. These GladeLord moved a bit up, did nothing with shooting. War Dancers moved a bit. The Spellsinger moved a little bit back. Glade Riders first moved up, and now they are moved here. And the Deepwood Scouts moved here, and then with a spell, Arcane Urgency moved a little bit further here. The shooting was very unsuccessful. Did 5 wounds on the Skink unit here, together with the magic until Windblast, and Windblast finished them off. Custom Vortexes, twice 3 singing, 1 Pillar of Fire, and the unit Glade Riders moved with the reserve move towards the back of the forest. Now it's the Lizardman turn 2, but we're starting with the Pillar of Fire, who is moving this way.
Okay, end of turn 2 from the Lizardmen. I have not done a lot of damage. Let's again start at this side. So I've done a charge on his Glade Guards.
Yes.
Yes, he fled successfully just within range so that he didn't run from the board. I did a unsuccessful charge anyway, not a lot of range, so I'm actually just behind the forest, which is not that inconvenient for me. Instead of marching and shooting, I've chosen movement and using my giant bow. I did a march, so maximum distance with my Stegadon. I marched forward with my Saurus Warriors. Then I moved my Skink Priest within 12 inch of the Slan Mage. Slan Mage was again moved forward. Important, by the way, I've done some successful magic. So I've done here, this is my Spiritual Vortex, so dangerous terrain and leadership within an aura of 8 inch. And this is my Monsoon, has also been successfully cast by the Slan. Unsuccessful magic by the Skink Priest, unfortunately. Unsuccessful shooting from the Bastiladon. Moved forward, but not the complete range here for the Temple Guards. Then I did some shooting and I destroyed one of his horses, and I also marched forward with my Croxigores, and I've done some dispels over here. So that was turn 2 of the Lizardmen.
Yes, Wood Elf turn 2. The scouts moved up just 5 inches again, tried to shoot, did nothing. The 3 men moved into the flank of the Carnosaur, tried to shoot it, did nothing. The War Dancers moved to the backside of the forest to stay out of range and sight. These Glade Guard, they luckily reformed on the 9+ and then moved sideways, tried to shoot but did nothing. The 3 men moved a little bit to the back, shooting on the unit did nothing. 5 Glade Guard moved up, shooting did nothing. The Glade Guard here moved a little bit back and with Arcane Urgency moved to the sides. With shooting they did nothing. The Wizard moved a little bit to the back. I finally got rid of the skinks that stood here, and it cost me only everything I had with with magic, Windblast, fireballs and shooting to get rid of them, but finally they are gone. The Deepwood Scouts marched 10 inches so that they would be out of front arcs.
You haven't done any shooting with them, by the way.
Yeah, but they couldn't because they have marched.
Ah,
Yes, correct.
And with the reserve move, I have moved my Glade Riders and the Wizard a bit to the side, out of the spell range of the Wizards.
Yes.
And that was the Wood of turn 2. Good morning, everyone. Time for the next turn of Warhammer battle. So we concluded everything yesterday because of it being late and having other plans. So we continue onwards with turn 3 of the Lizardmen. Let's start off here on the left. Carnosaur has marched forward, not as much as he could, but yeah, I chose to do so. Stegadon has also marched forward, so no shooting from him. An unsuccessful charge from the Saurus warriors on this unit, so this unit of Glade Guards moved back. Did very unsuccessful magic. Only thing I did is 1 wound with my magic with the slan on this unit with a magic missile.
On the Deepwood Scouts.
Moved forward with the Temple Guards. Moved forward with the Croxigors, who had to take a dangerous terrain test, suffered one wound. Yeah, I believe that's it for the moment. Nothing special. Continuing onwards with turn 3 of the Wood Elves.
Turn 3 of the Wood Elves. First off, the movement. Move the scouts up a little bit towards flank. The 3-men and the War Dancers moved around this Carnosaur to get in the flank of the Stegadon. The 3-men had a very successful shooting phase, did 2 wounds on the Stegadon, and another unit, I believe those Glade Guard of the Deepwood Scouts, did another wound. Then the Glade Guard stayed put and the 3-men moved up. Both did the shooting on the Saurus warriors. They did 6 wounds in total. I moved the Glade Guard back into the forest and moved the War Dancers directly behind the Glade Guard. The Glade Guard and the Glade Riders both did the shooting on the Temple Guard, and the Wizard had casted Plague of Rust, leading up to 3 wounds on the Temple Guard. The Deepwood Scouts tried to hit the Slan. They did 1 wound, but the Slan saved it. I did not cast Wind Blast. My 3 singing were both dispelled. The only spell that worked was Plague of Rust and the Pillar of Fire, which is here. Sadly, Fireball was not casted and Fireball here was dispelled. So that's the end of the Wood Elf turn 3.
Turn 4 of the Lizardmen. Let's go over everything. First, we had a charge of the Carnosaur and Scar Veteran on the Glade Guards. They were destroyed and fled from the board. Because of Blood Frenzy, the Carnosaur actually followed, but will return next turn, so that's why it's already over here. Stegadon with the Skink Chief has moved and has done some shooting. I believe there's 1 unit over here that was murdered brutally.
Yes.
Furthermore, he has prepared himself for a charge on the 3-man, hopefully doing some nice damage over there in the next turn. Magic on the Wizard, unfortunately it was dispelled, so that would have been potentially very good for me. Solar Engine spell, Solar Radiance I believe, on his Wizard and Cavalry unit was also unsuccessful. I charged with my Temple Guards on the 3. I lost the combat with 3 I believe.
Yes.
And because of Shield Wall and Stubborn I gave ground.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. And then we have the Temple Guards over here. They've also charged
The War Dancers.
the War Dancers.
The War Dancers chose the +1 attack dance, so they came at 3 attacks each.
Yes, exactly. And furthermore, I did a wheel with my Croxigors to prepare myself for some nice juicy targets over there. And also did 2 successful vortexes. So this is the spiritual vortex from Necromancy. Everything within 8-inch radiance has a -1 on the leadership. Here's the monsoon, so no line of sight, and both are dangerous terrain for them.
Yes, 1 little correction from the Temple Guard. As you may, the War Dancer was standing right behind the Glade Guard, so he actually charged the Glade Guard, which fled through, became behind these Glade Guard, and then he redirected this charge into the War Dancers.
Yeah, correct.
The War
So this Glade Guard unit is fleeing at the
Yes,
moment.
and the War Dancers lost the combat with 1. On to Wood Elf turn 4. Alright, so first off, forgot to charge with my War Dancers, so eventually I moved them in front here, so he had a very minor charge distance and can't do his impact hits. Then I moved the Scouts up the tree man a bit towards him. And I moved the GladeLord towards the side, everything shooting at the Stegodon, doing 1 wound.
3 runes remaining, by the way.
Yes. Before I forget, these reformed and then moved sideways. Here in the combat between the Temple Guard and the War Dancers, I lost the combat with 1, rolled a 9, so I fled, leaving him to reform and getting a very juicy target in the form of my wizard. I tried to kill his Slan with all the shooting and magic I had, but I failed all magic missiles, the wind blast, the fireballs. I did not do enough damage with the shooting.
Yeah, so just to add a note, I made a horrible mistake of not moving within 3 inches of my Temple Guards with my Slan. So that's why he had the opportunity to kill me, and I didn't have the opportunity to divert any wounds.
Yes, I moved the Pillar of Fire through him, but the Pillar of Fire sadly could not finish him off, did nothing. The GladeLord almost stayed put, but just got a better view, trying to kill the Slan, just like the Deepwood Scouts. Apart from that, that's pretty much it. Yeah, I won the combat here again with the 3, so the Lizardmen player gave ground again, 2 inches, and that's pretty much it. On to Lizardmen turn 5.
We're now in turn 5, but something we haven't told, I believe, in the video is that at the start of my turn 4, my Skink Priest wizard was also gone because of the Pillar of Fire, just as an additional note.
End of turn 5 from the Lizardmen. A lot has happened, so I'll try to explain everything clearly. Let's start over here. I've made a movement with my Carnosaur, moving up just ever so slightly into the forest. I've charged the Dancers. The Dancers were almost completely destroyed. Only the champion remains and fled. I followed, but was not able to complete the follow, so he fled further than I followed. Then here the Saurus warriors were utterly destroyed by the tree man without taking any damage. It's very hard to see that a lot of those have been destroyed without giving back any wounds. It is what it is.
And the tree man pursued the unit and reformed with now its front towards the Stegodon.
Yes, correct. Stegodon moved just slightly so that he remains away from the Pillar of Flame, did some unsuccessful shooting once again. My Temple Guards, that's a nice thing for me, destroyed the mage because the mage actually rolled a double 1 on the flea, and I'm in difficult terrain and I had to roll a 4 with my lowest dice, and I did. So very unfortunate. That allowed me also some nice opportunities because the Dancers over here were fleeing. I charged them with my Croxigors. They fled away from the board, so they were gone. Also, because there's now less magic countering, I was able to successfully cast here the -1 leadership, vortex, and here is the monsoon. I think that's basically it. Yeah, I did some unsuccessful magic in addition to that, but not really worth mentioning. So that was it, turn 5 of the Lizardmen. Moving on to turn 5 of the Wood Elves.
Turn 5 from the Wood Elves. Once again, the scouts moved a bit up. The tree men both tried to charge the Stegodon, but sadly the tree man here rolled a 1 on his charge distance, so he just failed to charge with 1. The other one made it in and did enough wounds to bring him back to 1 wound. Eventually the Stegodon gave ground and he followed him up again. GladeGuard moved a little bit to the side, these moved up, Glade Riders moved to the side here, and the Deepwood Scouts also. I needed to kill the Temple Guard, which eventually I did, but it cost me all the shooting that was possible and all the magic that was possible. GladeGuard here and the GladeGuard here both did shooting, but did nothing with them. So that's that. On to the last turn of the Lizardmen.
Last turn.
Last turn of the Lizardmen. Let's conclude my last turn. We'll start over here. I've successfully charged the 3-man. We've had combat, 2 wounds on the 3-man, 2 wounds on the Carnosaur with the Scar veteran. He lost the combat because of the close order and the charge. So he ran back 6 inches. I followed successfully because of Swift Stride. Let me see, I moved my Croxigors up maximally to block any potential harm done by the GladeLords towards my Slan Mage. With my Slan Mage I did successful magic missile on the other unit of Blade Guards and did, I believe, 4 wounds.
3 wounds.
3 wounds, so
Yes.
2 are still remaining. And then the best thing of all, which I'm very enthusiastic about, is that I successfully casted my magic missile with the Bastillodon on his general with cavalry unit and did enough wounds to completely destroy the remaining cavalry unit.
He took my general, and the Wood Elf magic is done.
Yes.
Let's see if the Wood Elves can make a tiny comeback in the last turn. Well, the Wood Elves did not make a comeback. The 3-man tried to charge the Carnosaur, needed to roll a 2, but rolled a 1, so he failed his charge. Sadly, the 3-man that was in combat with the Carnosaur died exactly on his last wounds and could not manage to do anything. All the GladeGuard tried to do something against the Bastillodon, but managed 0 wounds. And with that, it is quite the victory for the Lizardmen.
The battle has been fought and won by the Lizardmen led by Twan. Stay tuned because soon I will play my battle against Twan. And if you like this battle, please like and subscribe, and I hope to see you next time in the world of legend. Until then.